From the EFF, the Honorable Dr. Ndlozi.
Thank you very much, House Chairperson. Now, the EFF has been rightly credited as the central reason why public confidence and focus on the Fifth Parliament has risen. It is the teeth that were restored to the Fifth Parliament for it to bite when it comes to holding the executive accountable in this age of parasitic politics and petty bourgeois. Without the EFF, the process for amendment of the Constitution to allow the historic and revolutionary objective of land expropriation without compensation would have never been realized. This process saw the largest public participation in parliament processes ever, I think even including since there was a republic in South Africa. Without the remedial actions of the public protector, this parliament, without the EFF, the remedial action of the public protector on Nkandla would have never seen the light of day, because Jacob Zuma wanted to ignore them without a successful court review. Why? Because each time Zuma appeared in this house, as long as he did not respect the remedial action, he was faced by a legitimate protest of EFF MPs, which forced him kicking and screaming to abide by the public protector's office remedial action. Without EFF, there would have never been a new president of the ANC called Ramaphosa. In fact, there's no new dawn without the EFF. There would have not been a successful removal of Jacob Zuma to pride yourselves with that lousy idea called the new dawn. Zuma did not resign out of his innocent conscience. He was forced by the central consideration that here in Parliament, he will not be able to have peace from the benches of the EFF. Now, why is this protest of EFF MPs important? As you know, the apartheid spatial planning makes it hard to sustain mass protests that disrupt the normal life of power in South Africa. Therefore, the people depend on the public representatives within the system to make power uncomfortable, to make the business of power business unusual, until they comply with the law, until they comply with the remedial action of the public protector. Many ANC MPs who are characterized by careerism and an uncontrollable ambition for positions kept quiet here during the Zuma years administration, as he destroyed state institutions. All of you were told now that many of you may have even been spies by Jacob Zuma. So maybe that partly explains some of the behavior that we saw during the Zuma years. You kept quiet and were very in fact, many of you sang for your supper. You sang for your supper. Without the EFF, there would have never been that disjuncture. And that's what the Fifth Parliament will always be known for. When we put up our protests, like prophets of doom, you stood here one after the other, like the speaker before me, saying the people will reject the EFF, your votes will decrease. Many of you even went on saying we are embarrassing EFF voters. Prophets of doom. But we are the only major political party that almost doubled its votes. The rest of you reduced. With your comfortable parliamentary mannerisms here, our people did not vote for you in the same numbers that they voted for you. Even people who came back as two, who are chief whips to whipping their own presidents, they have the audacity to come and tell us how to conduct ourselves. It will never happen. There is nothing that you can do. There is nothing that you will say. You will never tell us how to conduct our revolution. As long as you show contempt to Chapter 9 institutions, we are going to hold you accountable the best way we know how. Why is Parliament protest impossible? It's not about the rules. It's a protest, we are aware. It is a legitimate protest, which is, by the way, a constitutional right. So we protest because we realize your rules are made to make power comfortable. Your rules are made to make sure that this place, these people who steal money, who defy courts, come here and have business as usual. So we defy them in protest to show them that they are not untouchable. And we make no apology about that. So that's what happened here with your Mr. Godan, now being defended even by the DA. Never show contempt to the public protector. It doesn't matter who holds that office. It doesn't matter the incumbent. Protect and respect Chapter 9 institutions, or else you're going to be met with protest here, and we're ready for anything. The army, your hooligans that you call security, we're ready for all of them.
Order,
so that's what happened here. It was a peaceful protest.
The noise levels
Nobody touched Mr. Godan. Members of the EFF came and showed him it was a proper protest, Chief. And he was screaming already. So that is fine. The Secretary of Parliament must be fired, Mam Thandi, from our premises with immediate effect. He used blue lights without approval, gave himself bursaries together with his friends, colleagues. He showed disregard to Parliament budget by staying in extremely expensive hotels. If you take Parliament seriously, he must go. This Parliament, 25 years later, after being taken by the black majority, that still does not take the black people's languages seriously. Parliament only uses English and Afrikaans in documents, even in simple things like the distribution of the order paper. Why won't you write it in Zulu if you take it seriously? There is no deliberate effort to invest in our people's languages. In the 6th Parliament, EFF will make sure that it initiates private members' bills on the amendment of the Banks Act, on alcohol, to ban alcohol advertisement. We're going to initiate insourcing of all workers. We're going to initiate legislation in relation to 24-hour clinics. Finally, I want to give a warning to the Deputy Speaker. You'll never, ever, ever succeed with the EFF if you continue to show the type of incompetence, even with regards to court rulings, even in relation to court rulings when you make rulings in this house. This is not your kitchen. This is not your dining room.
Thank you, Honorable Ndlozi. Your time is now expired.
Otherwise, you too are going to be in a long line of those who are going to protest against.
I'm going to switch off your mic.